Don't watch at night warning up top. This is a book club episode, meaning that months in advance, we selected a book and we announced it on our show for you to read along with us so that you could then come to the discussion episode. If you've read the book, you're ready. We have tons of resources and reviews in our show notes for you to look through. Do consider the fact that we're about to drop some spoilers galore. FYI, like what's happening right now tonight is the Golden Globes.
I know. I was like, shit. That's my favorite night. It's because also it's when the celebrities get fucking shit faced and I love it.
I didn't realize that it was tonight. Otherwise, I would have been like, dang, sorry if I'm pulling you away from Golden Globes.
It's all right. That's why they have the repeats.
Yes. But it's Frankenstein, it's Sinners, it's Weapons. So it's a lot of horror up there in the lineup this year. So that's pretty cool.
I did drive 45 minutes to go see Frankenstein on the big screen. Because, we have to keep our Theo Memo happy. And it was amazing. Just a slutty Oscar in his robe. Yeah. I was just like, the whole time I watched that movie, I'm like, I should really start wearing more veils. Absolutely.
I did not get to watch it on the big screen. I'm so sad. I watched it at home, but it deserves the big screen.
Oh my gosh. Just that set of his laboratory took him 2 years to build.
It's gorgeous. It's freaking gorgeous. I got that art book from Netflix shop. I ordered the big old art book. So it's beautiful. I loved it.
I mentioned to you guys before that I went to his big exhibit that he did about 10 years ago at LACMA.
You did mention that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like total vibe. Like that exhibit made me appreciate Crimson Peak. Because I was like, the trailers, I've noticed, like, you just can't watch a Guillermo del Toro trailer and be like, oh, yeah, I got that movie. Pan's Labyrinth taught me that lesson. And so I was just like, I don't know. It's a bunch of gringos in this movie. And I'm like, oh, now I get it. I'm like, where's my Latinos?
Okay, so hello and welcome back. This is Don't Watch at Night, a spooky little podcast dedicated to Latin American and Spanish language horror. I'm your host, Valerie.
Oh, and I'm Veronica.
And we are joined today by our friend Perla Caballeros.
Buenas noches, buenas tardes, y buenos dias. Wherever you are listening to this episode, just know I'm saying good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Hello.
Yes. Hello. Welcome to Book Club episode, people. Perla, how has your new year been going so far? How has it been like?
Personal life?
In life.
Right. Yeah. Personal life, amazing. I could never be happier. And that's where I'm going to keep us in a lane. Right. Also, it's a book club episode when I'm showing up. Someone actually mentioned that to me. A fan of the show recognized my name. It was like, wait. That's you, right? I'm like, yeah, of course. I mean, who else has his face? Come on. Which I was like, I'm so glad the show's getting reach. So it's been great. I celebrated my first anniversary. Both my book clubs are going great. Yeah, I'm just, my goal is to less doom scroll and only reading the weather and local politics. Like, shout out to Katie Wilson, new mayor of Seattle, and community service and reading books. So this is actually my first book of the new year of 26.
Of the new year. Okay, wait. So I know about MCBC West Seattle. What's the other book club that you have?
So as a new member of the Horror Writers Association, I am taking on the gauntlet of starting the Seattle Horror Book Club. And just like Morbidly Curious Book Club, oh boy, is it like a struggle. Like I've had one member show up, but a lot of feedback online. So I almost feel like it's one of those two where to show face and be like, okay, so we do have a demand for horror. It's there. It lives there. I've tried to do it with the library, but we're having a lot of not meeting the same goals. So I'm going to actually pull our club out of the library and then start going to venues like I do Morbidly Curious. Morbidly Curious has grown a lot. We're close to 200 members online and then average of 20 members in-house. And I started that club with like 4 people showing up. So it is great. This book is called The Blazing Eye Sees All, and it's about the mother love cult. It was a documentary on.
Oh yeah, Ronnie,
HBO.
you told me about that one. The Mother Love.
Mother Love. Yeah. Where she was essentially a mummy when they found her.
What was she ingesting?
A silver. It was like Nitrate? The tincture, like the really
making
bad.
her like what? Purple,
Green?
blue, green?
Yeah, she's green and she's losing a bunch of weight. She loses because she's experiencing liver failure from the amount of drinking that she does, which is
That's
why
right.
January is a good little restart. But sometimes, we need to break it just a little bit.
Reset,
Yeah.
cleanse.
Every seventh day, just like don't drink on the 8th. Yeah, she was taking this like silver thing, also like drinking heavily. She wasn't eating. She also was really into QAnon, and the documentary and part of the book, she would say like Trump spoke to her, but they really kind of gloss over that and where we are in today's world. I'm like, so yeah, I've had to put like a ton of warnings for my members. Like, so that guy shows up. She thinks she knows him. He's not there. But in her head, he's there. So
he's there, 100% there.
He's in her money. Last year's was our first full year. We read a lot. Probably the saddest book we read was Trails of the Lost.
I'm like writing it down. Okay.
Yeah. So that one is about the hikers of the Pacific Crest Trail. And it also talks about like the death. Like a lot of Instagrammers go out there and they don't realize what a goat cliff is, which I didn't know what that was because I go to sidewalks and flushing toilets. That is my rule. And these people just disappear. There's also a cult that lives out there and they start hunting new members by finding single men or single people that are just out there. The Butchering Art is another popular title. This is about how surgery rooms became clean. The word gross came from a doctor being named Dr. Gross. That was so gross that is his name. Like mushrooms in the bed, didn't believe in washing his hands after touching a dead body. Yeah, gross stuff.
Oh, nasty.
Yeah, and then our number one was, of course, Stiff by Mary Roach. It talks about Dr. Voss, who is in charge of the body farms, and then he shows up in Trails of the Lost, and he's a charlatan. So it was really odd to see the two parallels of this very popular, admired, and loved doctor, and then seeing him scam these families.
In a different light, right.
Yeah, so that's going great. Like I said, this month we're reading Cultish. We have a lot of big bangers, as I like to call them. We have one book called Madness about the asylum in Jim Crow era. So that one's going to be hard, challenging read.
Read, yeah.
And then the other one,
writing them all down.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just send you our book list. So you can just send me your thoughts. Yeah. I have some members who can't make it, and I'm just like, just send me your book report via Instagram, and they do. They'll send me paragraphs, and I will read them verbatim. I'm like, all right, member so and so said this. Ghostland was a fun one. We were hosted by Two Finger Social. It's Seattle's horror bar, and it was about a haunted tour of America, and Winchester Mystery House was the first chapter, and that's San Jose, that's where I grew up, so everybody want to talk about that, and I just like literally like chucked the book, like, all right, let's talk, because I know this verbatim. I've been to the house. In that book, the bar was kind of half full with other patrons, but once I started talking, everybody was like totally enthralled, so that felt great. It is, as you know, running a podcast. I've gotten good at Canva. Thank you. Right. And a lot, I think the best thing is that venues that I've been trying to get my club in are like, okay, yeah, I guess we can host you.
See, that's so cool. And like the bar that hosted you that you described, like that would be such a fun place to do like a live podcast recording.
I feel like Austin 10 years ago would have had that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, there's cool places here, but yeah, I don't know. I've not asked, so maybe it's worth asking.
If you need me to like give you the template on
how to approach them.
Yeah, I actually go to venues and I'll be like, hey, I run this book club. Can I bring at the time it was 10. So we've actually outgrown a few venues where I'm like, so we're too big now. We have to move on, which sucks because I built this great relationship. But at the same time, they kind of see it as like, I always like give them things like Easy Street Records. They were one of my first venues, like Beverage Pub Place. They've always been very accommodating to me, but now we're too big and, I can't like do that.
Okay. Ron, are you drinking anything or no? No. Okay. Well,
because actually I was sleeping until like 5 minutes before getting on. I fell asleep.
Oh. That's great. Thank you.
I took a nap.
No. I was messaging you. I was like, you're late.
When I showed up, Ron, full disclosure, I was like, oh my God, I'm so late. I'm so sorry. And then she's like, no, Ron's late. I was like, oh, because last time it was me.
No, this time it's me.
No, Veronica will be like, okay, I am always diligent about messaging her everything she needs to know, right?
Mhm.
Everything she needs to know, all the info, it's in the email. And then she'll still text me, hey, so what are we watching? Hey, so where is it available? Hey, so have you sent that? And I'm like, it's in the email that I sent you. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, here we go. Given that our main character, by the way, guys, we're going to get there eventually, but we are talking about Children of Chicago by Cynthia Pelayo today. Given that our main character in the book, Lauren Medina, talks about coffee like a lot. She's
Every
like a coffee
chapter.
fiend.
Mhm.
This was just really my excuse because I've never had this before. So I wanted to try it. And that is the carajillo. Have you had one before, Bella?
No, I've had a Spanish coffee, and those are delicious.
Yes.
And I've had a Cubano that was spiked. Those were good as well. So I never
Now,
had
refresh
one.
my memory. What goes in a cubano?
Oh, it's just like a café con leche, but some people put
Okay.
rum in it.
Okay.
It's just, think of it like an espresso, very frothy, like Americano. So like a cafe au lait
Yeah.
would be the American version of it, but a Cubano, they use like good beans.
Kind of what you're describing then kind of sounds a little bit like this. So let's talk about it. I've not had it before. Today's info is coming to you guys. I looked at a bunch of different sites that we've linked for you in show notes. There's Cafe 1820, which is a brand of Costa Rican coffee. There's also stuff that I'm pulling from a website called classbarmag.com, and then other sources like the New York Times cooking website. A little bit about it, the history of the carajillo. It is one of the best known coffee drinks in Latin America. It is said that the precise origins are not still 100% clear, but it is thought to be Cuban, but it would have been introduced by Spain during the time of the conquest. So Cuban, Spanish, whatever, it would have been during the time of the conquest. There is some research that establishes it firmly in Cuba. There's other research that places it in Catalonia. The theory follows that it was Spanish soldiers prior to going after the indigenous people of Cuba. They would drink coffee with brandy to give themselves courage, and that the carajillo, the drink, perhaps takes its name from that. It became a popular beverage in places like Mexico City. Whatever the origins of the drink and its name, the carajillo is made with a variety of spirits, but it wasn't until, I think it's called Licor 43, LICOR 43, came on the scene in 1946 that it kind of became the standard for the drink because it pairs so well with espresso. So if you were to do, and I looked this up, the Mexican take on the drink is like equal parts Licor 43 and espresso, or like concentrated cold brew coffee. The Spanish take on the drink is kind of more what you're describing, Badla, of like it would have been rum or brandy mixed in with your coffee. It's 31% ABV, which I think is like rated as like moderate to low for like a spirit. It has notes of like, it's sweet. And so that's why it's literally just a carajillo is literally just espresso and this Licor 43. And that's it. You don't really need anything else. There are some people who will put like vodka in there or maybe tequila in there, but you could just enjoy it by itself. Veronica just made a face.
I made a face too. I'm like, oh God, no. There is like a liquor that is very similar that we get every Christmas. It's called Holiday Spirit, and it's like bourbon, brandy, like all the dark rums, just like all the dark colored ones, just like put together, and you put it in your eggnog or your coffee. It's great on Christmas Day when we're getting phone calls at 8 a.m. because people think that's a good idea to not a childless couple. That's always fantastic. Right. So we start drinking very early on. Also, it's the morning after Noche Buena. What's wrong with these people? But they're also my in-laws, so thank you very much.
Also worth noting, the carajillo can be served layered. This is known as puesto, in which the coffee is carefully added to a glass containing ice, and then Licor 43 is, I guess, poured on top. Or it can be served in shaken form. This is a more contemporary way to do it, where you're doing equal parts espresso and liquor shaken and strained over ice. The idea being that you want that, if you shake it, you want that frothy topping on top, which is how I've seen it online served.
Yeah, it's very similar to like a Spanish coffee. I don't know if you know about Huber's in Portland, Oregon, where they do like the big presentation and they got the fire going and they put the nutmeg and the cinnamon and then they do the
nice
fresh cream whip and you're straight up drinking gasoline that tastes delicious. But yeah, I never heard of it until like, because it's mentioned in the book, and then that's our cocktail. And then I was like, oh, wait, I forgot that they love to pick, you specifically, Val, love to pick these complicated cocktails where it's like, so I can't just do like a 1 and a 1 and call it a day. It's like, okay, so elements of me being on the show, the book's got to involve dead kids right off the bat, complicated cocktails. Luckily, I was prepared for this one, so I knew it was coming my way.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
now you know. Like now you know you're a veteran of the show.
Yeah, I was like, let's do Forgotten Sisters. Nobody dies in the first chapters.
Okay, so okay, yeah. The recipe for, according to New York Times, for a carajillo would be 2 ounces of espresso or cold brew if you want, 2 ounces of liqueur 43. You're gonna add that to a shaker, shake it up. You want to serve it up with that frothy top. You can serve it in a coupe glass. I'm telling you guys, listeners, if you've not had this before, you can serve it up in a coupe glass. What I prefer to do is to serve it in like an old fashioned glass with like an ice cube and kind of serve it like I would an old fashioned. That's me. Now, for the mocktail, which is what I'm drinking tonight, I'm sharing this from, this is Almave's Ambar, which is like a blue agave. It's a no alcohol blue agave spirit. And this is the Ambar Carajillo. And it's 2 ounces of Almave Ambar, 1 ounce espresso, 0.5 ounces of agave nectar, and then you're going to do 3 dashes of orange bitters and 1 dash of aromatic bitters. And I used the All the Bitter brand because it's a no alcohol brand of bitters. And then you throw that in a shaker, you shake it up, you serve it. You can garnish with like an orange wedge or whatever. So, and it's really tasty. Like it's a coffee drink. It's a sweet coffee drink. So I could drink this all day.
Yeah. And then you're up till 3 in the morning reading books.
And then I'm up till 3 in the morning.
That's it. I mean, that's like, I used to like doom scroll in the middle of the night. Now I'm like, I'm going to read this book. You know, especially if it's a book you don't like, you'll finish it. Trust me, you'll finish it or go to sleep.
Right. I decided to make, so this has double espresso in it. So yeah, I will be wired. If I'm talking too fast, stop me. But yeah, that's it. That's all I had. It was going to be a real short dive on the carajillo, but it's really good. And I've not had liquor 43 before. So I probably will go and try this again with the liquor 43 and report back on how that tastes.
That might be a good like Noche Buena cocktail too, because you know how we usually, well, our family, we do like Kahlua and coffee, or you know, the Irish Baileys. Because drinking coffee at 7, I was always perplexed by like, why are you drinking coffee? So like, no, it's because we got to go do mass, and you know, our family does that. Even though now I cheat and I just watch mass with, you know, mass on TV, mass for shut-ins. But yeah, we're up to like, you know, 2, 3 in the morning, and we always got to hug at midnight. You know,
easily. I mean, my husband and I, when we have kids, we stay up all night. We're wrapping presents. We're doing like, it's just
building the bike, you know, all that stuff.
So guys, again, we read Children of Chicago by award-winning author Cynthia Pelayo. I am going to just read the snippet that we have on our website about it, and then we'll go from there, and we'll have Bella give first assessments, and then we'll jump in. From Bram Stoker, award-winning author, this horrifying retelling of the Pied Piper fairy tale set in present-day Chicago is an edge-of-your-seat thrill ride. When Detective Lauren Medina sees the calling card at a murder scene in Chicago's Humboldt Park neighborhood, she knows the Pied Piper has returned. When another teenager is brutally murdered at the same lagoon where her sister's body was found floating years before, she is certain that the Pied Piper is not just back, he's looking for payment he's owed from her. Lauren's torn between protecting the city she has sworn to keep safe and keeping a promise she made long ago with her sister's murderer. Wow, it gives it right there. She may have to ruin her life by exposing her secrets and lies to stop the Pied Piper before he collects.
Well, see, I'm glad that much like I never watched trailers and movies, I did not read the back of this book.
Well,
I do.
I didn't connect the dots till just now rereading it. I'm like, wow,
I do read them when I'm in a bookstore, you know, trying to decide if I want to read a book, but I didn't read this one because I knew I had to buy it because I had to read it. So
you don't get a choice. So
so I didn't bother, but I'm glad I didn't. Dang.
Okay. But here's the thing, though. In that, we know who the murderer is. And so we know that the Pied Piper has killed her sister, but we don't know why the Pied Piper's there. And that's the thing is when you're in the book, like the first time I read it, when she is at her therapist's office. And also, like, Detective Lauren Medina is a straight up serial killer. There is no way to describe this. When the math happens, and remember, math is my worst subject. When we go 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 equals 5 bodies, we've got an issue.
Right.
So 1 is, oh, wow, that's odd. 2, that's a coincidence. 3, it's a serial. And she has, I think, up to 5 bodies if you include her sister,
Yeah.
her mother, her stepmother, the person that she just had like murdered in the same neighborhood. And Humboldt Park is also a big Puerto Rico Latino, like it's not a barrio, it is a very alive neighborhood. So we have Lauren, and she's also a cop. And again, in today's world, you're like, a cop that kills people. What a shocker. And it's a woman. Go women, you know?
Well, I know. And like reading that, I was like, oh, am I supposed to like her?
Oh, no, you're not supposed to like her. She is an unlikable character, which is what makes this book so compelling, is you want to feel bad for her. Like when she talks about seeing her ex-husband all duddied up. And I swear, they were at a Jewel Osco, that grocery store that you described. Like, Jewel Osco is like H-E-B. It's like those, like, pantheon of grocery stores that when you're a senora like me, you go to them and you can't wait till you can go back. And so she, like, sees him, and he's like, you know, he's great a little, probably because he was married to her. And he's still carrying water for her. She, you know, the way she describes the other woman, like, she's the complete opposite of me. She's a brunette. She's a white woman, essentially. And she's, like, done up and hairpin straight, red lipstick and heels, and they're all done up. And he told her, like, I was just going to tell you, like, I'm just giving this woman a ride. She's like coworker or a student. Yeah. And she's always willing to jump to conclusions, which kind of irritated me because I'm like, how can you be a detective if you can't detect? You know?
Right.
There's a lot of her that irritated me.
Oh, yeah.
So
And that's,
I'm glad because I was like, am I supposed to like her? Because I really don't.
No. And it also depends.
I really don't.
I didn't hate her. I didn't hate her.
I mean,
she wasn't like the mother in Monstolio,
No.
like where I was just like, can we just throw her out the window from a flying airplane? We'll just all link up. I mean, it isn't like, and that's what I love about the horror genre is your protagonist will be an unlikable character where you're just like
complex character,
right? You're just like, what's going on? What is it with these pendejadas? You're just like sitting there in your apartment or whatever, and you're just like, hands in the air, like why are we here? And then when you're in the audiobook, that's when you start punching the air because you're walking. You hate everybody, but I mean that's
like when the soon-to-be ex-husband tells her that he'll be there whenever he's ready. I'm like, no, dude, just run.
I'm like, you're gonna die.
Move on.
Well, I mean, yeah, especially by the end of the book where we understand what's happening. I'm like, you can't be with him. Like, you can't be with him.
You don't get it happy ending.
You're gonna have to it's just like you're gonna have to kill him at some point, and like, don't do it, Lauren.
Yeah.
Okay, but this was your second read of this book, your reread of this book.
Yes.
So, you know, obviously you're a fan. Ron, this was your first read. What was your quick assessment of it?
I liked it. I will say I wasn't a fan of the periodic history lessons on mass transit.
I liked that.
Mass transit in Chicago or the history of the park. It took me out of the story. I'm like, because I was waiting to see, okay, is this actually going to be relevant? And no, it's really not. So those little bit, and that's just personal preference. Every time it happened, it would take me out of the story. And I'm like, okay, here we go again. But other than that, I mean, I enjoyed the writing. I did not, with the exception of Bobby and what was her old partner's name that was
Washington.
Washington. I pretty much didn't like anybody else in this whole story. Like the kids, with the exception of Jordan.
Jordan, pobrecito, man.
Totally...
But the other, and maybe Daniel, because he didn't do anything.
Right.
The rest of the kids, like
Evie turned out to be. I'm like, yeah, Evie, what the hell?
Well, I'm like, why? Okay, so she wants to get rid of, whether she believed it or not, get rid of Daniel, whose only crime appears to be
that he liked her.
Yeah.
That he's the only person who seems to be putting any effort in being her friend.
He was like overly attentive to her.
And I'm like, okay, show me what he's done so bad that you're willing to go to this extreme to get rid of him. Like, so I was very disappointed that she did not die.
Or that we find out that, like, you know, she solved it and she's like, so you killed Daniel. Evie, you killed Daniel because you choked him to death after he tried saving you from getting sliced up and you're still alive. And we never hear what was the...
It's like you want there to be some justice there. Yeah. And it's like we don't have time for justice there.
At least see her... show even an ounce of remorse or like,
Well, she's not going to show remorse. They're killers. Like she's no,
like
they're
at
but
least
she
Mo
needs
at least Mo had moments. At least Mo had moments of like, it wasn't supposed to go this far, and showing that at least he might have had some regret that it got that far. Whereas with like Finn and Evie, I never got that.
I didn't, from the moment that we understand that Evie is the one. Okay, and so let me just say, I like the book. Like I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. I know based off of things that I've read, I know that one of Cynthia Pelayo's goals with the writing of Chicago, like Chicago featuring so heavily in this book, is she really wanted it to almost be its own character.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's why there's so much Chicago layering in there.
And it's very common in her books too. Like this isn't like when you go to Shoemaker's or her other books, like the second one, and in Vanishing Daughters. I'm gonna get it wrong again. I should have just brought her books.
That's right.
That one, I mean, she talks about the Chicago River a lot. And so there. I'm not gonna say what incident, but she refers to it twice in this book. And that is a major plot point in another book. And I love about her books is because I just so happen to be in Chicago a lot more because, I'm married to a man from the Midwest. We go to, so this is how you rip me out of my comfort, little blue coast, amazing. I see the oceans and I see the mountains in Seattle is we'll go to Chicago. And I'm like, okay. And one of the reasons why I wanted to go to Chicago is because of Cin's books.
When we learn that Evie is the one who was the one who killed Daniel, from like the minute we learned that, and just the way she reacts to Lauren, saying, so you killed him.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew, I was like, she's twisted in the way that Finn is twisted. Mo, you truly genuinely believe that this is just a kid who just got roped in with the wrong girl, just went along with her to appease her. Maybe he wanted some sort of justice for his father and wanting to protect his father's business. Never intended for something disastrous to happen like this. But yeah, Finn and Evie were just twisted. So I knew we weren't going to get any remorse from either one of them.
Yeah, and then also in page 71 where Evie and Finn are talking about meeting. This is like the first time we're going to this is where the story starts to kick off. So Evie is like they're doing the meetup, which ends up with them being attacked, and then Mo's the one who tells us what really happened. But she says it was in them that she read the hero generally entered a fairy tale world in order to escape their conditions of home, but very often exposed to more prejudiced situations where they had gone to seek refuge. Evie considered herself the hero of her own story, and from her old world, her mother, her father, and people like Daniel were her monstrous adversaries. So she always saw Daniel as this like annoying person that was in her way to getting what she wanted, not seeing, oh wait, this is my only friend because I'm a weird kid. Shout out to weird kids. I was the weird kid. All my friends were weird kids.
Right.
Also, I was growing up in a cult, so double weird kid. Like I wasn't even supposed to have those friends. Being alone as a kid is not fun. This is what I loved about the Grimm's fairy tale too, is you always learn about the stepmother, but you never learn about the mother. And that was a big thing, was like Lauren hated her stepmother because also she was kind of a bitch too, like telling her younger sister like, oh, her mother abandoned her, but you have a mom like me. Like, bitch, no, that's your kid. Like you married into it. So don't be like pulling this favoritism. So it really also showed like the stepchild dynamic, the replacement theory of like, well, that's your old kid. This is the new kid. And these kids like also just shows how like romantic and seductive the internet can be. She puts up that page and she's like, sorry, Lauren, you don't get it because it's already up in the world, which triggers Jordan. The idea that everybody knew, everyone's telling Lauren, you got to pay the piper. You got to pay the piper. Well, what did Lauren do to make the piper come? This bitch is somehow implicit in this. And I say that in like, it's like right when you meet her and she's going to the therapist. Ah, boy, that's me. I would be the one that wouldn't realize that I like, the way I brushed my hair with this relic. Now I got like a demon in my house. And why is this demon in this house? Is when she's at a therapist and she sees the Pied Piper for the first time. And she's like, who is that? I don't know who that is. Ooh.
I did not connect the dots that it never occurred to me that she did not like her baby sister, Marie. And it didn't, well, not until like later on in the book when she outright says it. Like I didn't pick up on the fact that she had resentment towards Marie.
I was suspicious like pretty early on.
Really?
Because every time in the book where it would say like, poor sweet innocent Marie, poor trusting Marie, in my head it was always mocking, like in a
Really?
mocking
Okay.
tone, like poor sweet innocent Marie. So I always had the feeling that, and then that she was out there and
Mhm.
wet when they found her. Like if this was a Dateline episode, she would have been the number one suspect in
But she was a little
murdering her sister.
kid. She was a
14.
child.
14-year-olds murder people all the time.
Was she
Thank
14?
you. Yes.
Was she
She was
14?
a teenager. She was
She was
Okay.
14.
She was in the
Marie was like, what, 9?
She was little.
I think
Yeah.
Marie was
So they
9.
find
Yeah.
Marie's body. Lauren is like a mile away in the park. She's in the same park. Also, she was supposed to pick up her sister. So she's
That's right.
so you're the last person seen alive with your sister. And
Number
then
one suspect.
yeah. And trust me, I watched plenty of Dateline episodes. I don't light up a room. I want it to be the dark cloud that
It's always, oh, she lit up a room.
I'm like,
when she
don't
got murdered.
describe me like
I didn't light up
Yeah,
crap.
exactly. I actually, like, my husband makes fun of me because we'll have like Dateline on so we can have noise on in the background.
That's what I fall asleep to.
That and forensic
Dateline.
files in a hotel room, it's better than an ambient. Oh my God. It is the absolute best. I really feel, and you're right, Ron, the way Cyn writes this is she writes it like a Dateline episode. She gives you clues. I didn't pick up on it on my first try, so I guess shout out to you for being observant on that. Right around after we interrogate Mo, and Mo is telling his story, where I'm like, oh, wait, that guy at the bridge, that's the same guy. So when the Pied Piper's only showing up when death has appeared itself.
Mhm.
Now, why would the Pied Piper be hanging out with Lauren? And that's when it clicked on me the second time around. Like, oh, wait, she totally did it. So her sister is taken. Her stepmother drowns in a bathtub a year later, probably because she didn't pay her debt. And so she's this whole time been just overdrawing at the Pied Piper account.
So question, because once we learn all of this, once the truth comes out at the end, part of Medina's track record is that she's a cop who's shown unusual brutality for someone who hasn't been at it for very long. And so she's discharged her weapon multiple times. She's killed people. Do you think that those shootings, quote unquote, shootings of those people, do you think that was her essentially paying off the Piper those times?
No, I honestly
those were just
think that's her being homicidal. She wanted to, killing Marie and her stepmother. That was her keeping her hands clean. It's like the Charles Manson, I didn't do it, they did it.
Yeah.
This is where my criminology comes in, sorry. But her discharging her weapon, the idea that her dad made sure to protect her, ripping out the book, ripping out the part that would give it away that she was the killer. Her dad knew this entire time.
The owner of that book.
Made sure who she was trained by, made sure she was a cop, which I'm like, why are you giving her a gun? She should have been in the morgue. If she was going to get a job, that should have been that. She's drank so much coffee that it's like killing her esophagus, which is real. And she has so much bile coming up because she can't eat because she's so guilt ridden. She's no,
as she should be.
Right, exactly. And it shows like she herself as a person feels fine for what they've done, but her body is fighting her. Or when she goes and meets Wilhelmina, the older woman, and she feeds her, and she talks about like eating these eggs or like the best eggs that she ate. Just shows that she just wants to be mothered. She wants to be loved, but she's so dark of a cloud of a person that she can't accept it. She had Bobby. Bobby was there being like, hey, babe, check this out. I found this out. And then she's like, shut up. I was like, you know what? Peace out.
Yeah.
Well, and Ruth telling her basically like, you only use people. Like you just use people. And
that was Bobby. Bobby told her that too.
Yeah, both her exes.
Yeah. Like he described her perfectly, actually. Yeah. He tells her, I love the way he said this, because this was like, yes, this is why I don't like her. She's called him for help because of course she needs his help because he's the expert on folklore and fairy tales and stuff. She apologizes for something that she says, and he says, but you're not really. You're sorry that you have to do this, that you have to go through the motions, apologizing for something you're not really sorry about because you need information. You use people. And the problem is, I don't know if I can even be mad at you because you do it to help other people, which I don't know, I guess is her penance. I guess that's why she's so job is everything. And she doesn't take time to even eat or sleep or bathe or go home. And because I guess she feels she has to do this to make up for what she's done, but I don't know that there is any making up for what she's done.
Especially when she won't even, until the very end at least, she won't even acknowledge what she's done. She's buried it behind her so badly that she doesn't even remember it until
because
we
we're
get
never
to the very
given
end.
any real reason for, other than this was her father's like second family, second chance at happiness, a new wife and another daughter. We're never given like examples that Diane was just this horrible stepmother, or that Marie was just like this pain in the ass child. Like, we're never given, all we're really told, like, Lauren was just this 14-year-old who was just
Well, there was that
eaten
scene
up
where
with.
there was that piece of text where Marie does tell Lauren, your mother left you, blah, 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 and kind
Yeah.
of like laughs in her face. So yeah, there
But
is
she was
that.
9. She's 9 years old.
Yeah,
She's
but
just
kids can
repeating
be
what she heard her
assholes.
mother
I mean,
say.
let's-
Kids are kids.
Yeah.
The kids can be total butthole. Yeah, totally.
Well, but,
I had
you
a
know,
kid
she's
once
9 years
insult
old.
me so badly
From the standpoint of
that I was
that
like,
made you cry.
no, I didn't cry. I was ready to be like, I almost like said some like mean shit to that kid. Like, well, you know, your mother abandoned you and that's why you don't have one, because I knew that. But, you know, I was just like,
See, I didn't even take it that way. I could totally picture like Marie asking her mom, you know, whatever happened to Lauren's mother, and Diane telling her, well, she left and she's never been found, so we assume that she's
gone.
dead, that she died somewhere, and then this 9-year-old
No,
child
I mean
just
the
repeats it
text.
back.
The text very clearly.
Yeah, she was mean.
Said, like, she laughed in Lauren's face, so it was said in a mean way. But like, I think in terms of the fable component of this book, you know, the fairy tale component, even though we're not given context for what Diane has done as a stepmother that would make Lauren hate her so. From the context of fairy tale lore, the stepmother is historically this evil, wicked figure. So I guess what we're supposed to infer from her being the stepmother of the story is that she is wicked and evil and to be hated, and even though we're not necessarily given that context.
No, you need to give me that context for me to believe that any of this was even like, it would never be justifiable, but that I could understand why Lauren did what she did. Because nowhere else, like even Van, her hatred of Van, he hasn't done anything.
Van was getting
It's like
too close. Van was salt.
He was peppering her with questions, and she was coming from a place of not understanding what it was about. So she wasn't trusting him. She was just like, "What is your deal?"
Well, no,
Why
he
are
was
you-
also
why are you
snooping,
crying?
and
well, because he's probably thinking you should have been the prime suspect in your sister's
well,
murder.
of course not, because
All
you're
these
your
other
dad's
facts
the
don't fit.
cop, and your dad also has
Yeah.
evidence. You know, your dad also committed broke laws by evidence tampering. Like her dad also is going through like. At the end, he's like, hey, you need to call Marie. Marie's here. She wants to talk to you. So is he getting haunted by the ghost of his daughter saying, your oldest killed me. She's 14. She's 9. She's also witnessing, again, like Ron said, the replacement child. He remarries, and that's got to be not fun for her. Your mom's missing. But where's her mom? We don't know that. And that's the part that was really kind of annoying me.
Yeah, right.
This is Chicago. This is also like, I'm going to say the 1980s, the crosses that she describes where they go and put the little children's crosses up, that's a very real place. I haven't been there, but I've seen it. There is an Instagram where they do show like another cross is going up, and this is who this person was, and this is who this child was. And it is a really sad reality. But at the same time, when I'm in Chicago, I'm at the Music Box Theater. I'm drinking those iced coffees. I'm walking around. I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm eating sandwiches, whatever. But it's the total parallel of the life where like Lauren was just like walking around trying to find who the Pied Piper is. And then at the same time, you have kids killing each other, which is what Lauren did. She triggered it.
Lauren, when she was visiting Evie in the hospital, and we get the whole reveal that Evie actually is the one who physically killed Daniel, Lauren should have just double tapped her right between the eyes, because she's just going to keep summoning. What do y'all think? Do you think she sent the
who we're talking
Pied
about?
Piper?
Evie?
Evie. Do you think she sent the Pied Piper after
Yes.
Finn and Mo?
No, I don't know. What do you think, Bella?
So
I understood it to be that like they just botched it, and so the Pied Piper took them.
Yeah.
Because they botched what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, that's exactly how I took it.
Well, Evie's going to continue offing whoever just slightly annoys her in any capacity. So Lauren just should have taken her out. Which there would have been no covering that up.
There's no way of covering that up.
Right.
That kid has to be taken down.
Or just charge her. When they're in the hospital, the fact that Evie is so just happy. Like, sorry, I put it in the Don't Sleep Reddit and everybody knows how to get it, which is how Jordan got access to it. Poor Jordan. Jordan broke my heart. The way it went down, Van also losing his life at the same time.
Because Lauren just lets him die.
We're not made aware that he's even shown up on the scene, so I don't even think she knew.
She doesn't bother to call 911.
Because she recognizes at that point she's like, holy crap, I can't do that.
Junior, the young kid, was like, I saw Jordan. Go help him, please. I can't do anything. There are good kids. Like Mo and Finn was because they didn't do their end of the bargain. So it's like Mr. Smith and the Devil. That's a big parable where, if you've read it, I had to read it in English, so it's been a couple of years. But he gets this fortune and they have to go pay the devil back. And the wife's like, we're not going to go pay the devil back. So the wife goes and she's going to try and like restructure her loan is the best way to describe it. And she doesn't come home and he finds just her heart, just there on the road. He ultimately has to pay the devil back. They bring it up here, which I was like, now we're getting so, because again, the first time you read it, and this is why I love her writing, is you can go back and you're like, oh, it was right there. The other thing too was like, so I made a list where it's like the kids and then the dead kids, and then I had to like move them around. So we have Hadia's murder is the first one. Why did she have to die? We don't know that because she's shot. So it's very different from all the other murders that we're about to witness. So this triggers Jordan. Jordan's in grief, where he's like, I was so excited for you to get into Northwestern. I'm just going to go to state college I'm going to get a different experience than you. You're going to go to Northwestern. You're going to get like the college experience. I'm going to stay home so I could save money. I got a scholarship. I miss you. And he talks about this in his memorial that he makes Lauren read. And so you learn more about who Hadia is, because so far in the book, all we knew about Hadia was she was just victim number one. And this is where we also meet Detective Lauren Medina. And Lauren is abrasive. She's like telling people to fuck off because they're attacking her because she's like, yeah, I killed someone in this neighborhood not too long ago. And I was like, oh, so you're cold. Got it. I love when we
detached.
You meet a character and you're just like, oh, I'm not gonna like you. I'm gonna feel bad for you, but I'm not gonna like you. And this time I felt a little
I don't even feel bad for her.
I know. That's the empathy in me. I'm so jealous of you. It's like your heart must be always happy because I'm always
someone who's made their own nightmare of a bed and doesn't even really feel bad.
I have empathy for like empathy is even at that like a strong word. I can certainly understand this very complicated character and the way that she has sort of structured her life and her memory in such a way that like she's buried all of this darkness behind her just so that she can function and exist day to day. I get that. And I even get like when you're 14, you do stupid crap and you don't have any, there's no way that she could have possibly understood what she was doing when she
knew it when she had her stepmother killed.
Well, that was a year later.
A whole
so
year
15.
Later.
So 15. But again,
she loves her dad clearly, right? Loved her father. She did this to him. She killed his child, killed his wife, saw the suffering that caused in him, and that was.
I mean, I'm not saying I like her, but I'm saying like at the end of it, I'm not necessarily like she deserves to die. She needs to.
I was actually going to say, does anybody know how many? Like, are there only? Is this a duology?
Yeah, there's 2.
Are there just the 2 books?
There's
or
2.
She needs to right the ship, and I don't see how she can because
she needs to die. She needs to be sacrificed herself. She needs to pay with her
this
life.
is going to be
that's the ending that would make me happy.
But that won't stop him. That won't stop him.
So this is my plug.
You know?
Well, she can take him down with her.
So this is my plug that we should definitely read book 2 together, and then we can really dissect it, because book 2, you're like, new set of characters, but those elements of the first story do play a part. This is on page 166 when she's talking to Ruth, and Ruth is just mad at Lauren because she's like, we broke up 3 months ago and then you got married. We learn how she meets Bobby because he's taking pictures of the statues. Again, Ron, you may not like that, but I love when she talks about Chicago because that's how I pick my tour. That's like, I'm like, I gotta go here. I gotta go here. I gotta go here. So this is Ruth, where she's like, Chicago has a strange history of children killing children. The Leopold and Lebo killing is one that pops into mind, and I was obsessed with that case in grad school. So that is actually what became the movie Rope by Alfred Hitchcock, where in 1924, these two young kids thought they were so smart, and they talk about like how, they killed Bobby Franks and they were sure they'd get away with it, but they were so sloppy and how confident they were. They completely botched the crime and they were caught, which is what happened with Finn and Mo trying to get Evie and Daniel. I don't know if maybe Evie could see from afar, or Finn could see from afar, that Evie just didn't want Daniel around, and she knew I could get her to bring me him to be the sacrifice. Mo sees the Pied Piper, freaks out, and then the deal is gone, which is why the Pied Piper's like, all right, well, you didn't die. I got to take you. That's the plot, right? So that's why he lost his head, because he was, he chopped up Daniel. And that is why Finn was murdered the way she was, because she couldn't get Evie. Ultimately, they were going to kill Evie together. That failed because he freaked out. And also Evie maybe potentially was going to kill Mo and hold herself in this position of Pied Piper power. I don't know, because we didn't get into it. Ruth is also the audience. Ruth is also being like, why are you like this? You run away. You're in a ton of trouble. You've killed people. And there's always been this like weird storm around you, around the death of your sister and your stepmother. Everybody knows that these two deaths are around Lauren, but somehow Lauren still walks free.
Anything you want to say about the reveal?
So Cynthia does like to talk about fairy tales in her books. What I like about this book, after reading a lot of her work, is this is the one time where the princess isn't like, it is in its way pink horror. Pink horror is when the women are the villains. This is pink horror because you don't know that the villain in the book is actually your protagonist. You're reading the villain's words. The villain is in front of you the entire time and you think it's the Pied Piper. She shoots her own legs and she's getting pulled and there's like the rats and then the children are looking at her. She's going to hell. Yeah. That's hell. And then someone pulls her out and I was like, dude, why'd you do that? Like, you should have just let her. She was right there.
There's a book too.
And like, that's a good question too. Like, this is easier for Ronnie to answer because it was her first time reading it. So Ron, was there a part in the story where you started to really suspect that Lauren wasn't seeing herself as clearly as perhaps the text was laying? Because like, I will say, like, I didn't necessarily, I mean, I would say I got through more than half of the book before I really started to think maybe Lauren's more problematic than even we believe that she is. Because, as unlikable and as horrific as she is as a character, I was sort of grappling that with her line of work and the fact that she's a homicide detective kind of focused on trying to bring justice to victims and yada, yada, yada. That's how she portrays herself, right? So at what point in the story did you see her for who she was?
I was suspecting that she was involved in her sister's death. There was mention of, as soon as they mentioned that she had to go pick her up, her sister was found drowned in the lake and she was found wet a mile away. I was like, right then I was like, she probably did it. She did something. I didn't know what, because we hadn't gotten into the whole lore of the Pied Piper yet. But as soon as they mentioned that all of his deaths were through water, I'm like, she did it. She summoned the Pied Piper to get rid of her sister.
I mean, all the true crime that I've looked at, I just sort of automatically assumed this was the work of some child predator, yada, yada, yada. And like, maybe she just like, also, to be fair, reading the book, it wasn't until this conversation tonight that I realized she was, I thought she was younger. I thought she was maybe like 9 and Marie was like maybe 7 or 6. So like, I wasn't realizing she was 14. So I was thinking, yeah, maybe she just like blacked out or something and managed to escape this predator who finished off Marie, but she managed to get away. I don't know. I did not suspect her at all till when Van started grilling her.
When Washington
is when I was
clearing out his desk, and then she gets real mad. Like, my family isn't your grief structure, and just like she talks about like how her throat starts to hurt because she's so mad. She is like spitting fire. She's spitting acid.
Yeah,
and
he's asking her key questions, and that's like when I was like,
like a compliment. And then all her always insistence that it was Diane's fault. It was all Diane's fault. No.
Well, but see, the reason I bought that is because, like, I think I got the impression, based off of our unreliable narrator, that Diane was so consumed with her music and being a musician that it's like she didn't have time to be a mom who goes and picks up her kids.
But
so
see,
she
that's the 14-year-old thinking, I don't want to be pulled away from what I'm doing. We're seeing Diane through her mad 14-year-old lens.
And it's
she's
also,
angry.
you see that again with Evie. Evie's describing her parents. Her parents are never home because they're having to work double shifts so they can pay for her to go to this like super exclusive
good school.
Why?
Yeah.
Because in the neighborhood that they live in is different from the one that they had, because there was all this gunfire and her dad almost got killed had he not moved at the time that he did. So she hates her parents because they're never home, not seeing again. And I did that shit. Like, I used to think my dad hated me because he was never home. And my dad's all he wanted to do was sit in front of the TV. And I was like, oh, my dad hates me. No, my dad was tired because he was putting rent and food on the table.
Right.
And at the time, I did not see that. And I do now. Trust me. That's why all my college degrees hang in his wall. Is like, all right, look, this is how I'm going to pay that favor back.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. What I'm trying to say, I guess, is like when you're faced with an unreliable narrator, so all you have to go on is what they're giving you. That's usually what I do. I don't infer different things from like what is
given how she treats other people in her life that care about her, and how her dislike for Van because he's basically just asking reasonable questions. I tend to then not really trust anything Lauren thinks or feels about anybody else, because her logic is skewed.
Yeah,
it's not, like it doesn't make sense.
At that point, when Van started grilling her, that's when I was just like, yeah, that is right. Like, why? That's where I was slow to catch on, is what I'm trying to say. So you caught on faster than I did.
So the big giveaway too is in the interrogation when they arrest Mo and Finn. Mo is already guilty. Like, what the fuck just happened? And then we see the first element of the Pied Piper showing up, because he's there, like the wet footsteps, that's what clued into me. Like, oh, so it's water. It always has to be around water. In the fairy tale, they talk about the old version as they went into a cave, and then that's where they were. And Daniel gives it away. It's like the Pied Piper killed those kids. That's what he did. Just like he killed the rats, he killed the kids. So that was clue number one. So when Mo's getting interrogated and Finn is just like, I don't know, in like euphoria, is like, she was bizarre. So Lauren wants at her because she sees herself in it. But they're like, you know what? You may kill this girl, so we're going to send you with Mo.
Right. You're going to punch her, so maybe
we're going to walk in and it's not going to be good. I also like when she's like, why are you always with the coffee? It's like, well, if I hold this coffee, I won't punch people, which that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, she has a rage problem.
She does. Again, like, serial killer. So we meet Mo, and Mo is starting to tell us we screwed up. He was there. And then like stuff starts moving. And then he gets this first like head up against the wall, because that's the Pied Piper. Van is interrogating her and hears weird stuff too. Lauren's like, what is that? And he's like, turns off his phone, because he's like, wait, this is weird stuff that keeps happening when she's around. So Finn immediately goes to the hospital where we meet Ruth, and then Mo goes to Gen Pop and he meets those kids, and they see Mo come in and they realize, oh, wait, that's you on the news. That's you, because they're, again, kids, and they have this like celebrity idea that he's on the news. Once Mo goes to the bathroom and turns on the water, Pied Piper shows up. He's gone. The Pied Piper keeps going back to Lauren. Why? Because Lauren was the genesis. Lauren was who said, come take my sister. And everyone that saw the Piper talks to Lauren is like, you have to pay the Piper. And I didn't catch that the first time. The second time I was like, oh, wait, it was there the entire time. But when the book ends, she now knows that anyone who was near her and around the Pied Piper, know it's her.
I don't know how they would resolve this in just one other book, because once it's out there in the internet, even if you were to take it down, someone could have screenshot
that's what I'm saying.
Written it down. Like, I mean, it's like, you can't.
Even if Lauren dies, he doesn't die. Like, he doesn't, you don't stop him.
But she still needs to die. I'm sorry.
She needed to be in jail is where she needed to be.
Right. She needs to be imprisoned is what she needs to be.
Also the house.
So I at least want to see her like admit it out loud. I killed my sister.
I played a role.
I killed my stepmother. For
what
no
I don't
real good
understand,
reason.
for that matter, why doesn't he take her? Like, why doesn't the Pied Piper take her? Because those last deaths, Jordan and Van, that's not really, like, she didn't do that. So in a way, she's botched her, has to take a life and pay the pipers. So it's like,
Well, I think
why
I
doesn't
don't
he take
know.
her?
I think maybe those 5 deaths or however many people she's killed in the line of that she managed to hide it under.
They attacked me, and
Her job, like maybe those counted. I don't know, because that would be the only thing that would make sense. Is that
that's what I was wondering, is like, were those efforts to pay the, like, I don't know. But yeah, it's just like in a world of like, if you
maybe she
botch your killing,
intentionally goes into situations that she knows the probabilities are high that
somebody's going to be
So
dead.
here's on page 298, where this is where Van tells her, like, you killed your sister. Like, I know, and you know. Van says, closing his eyes tight, why'd you kill your sister? I didn't kill her. The Pied Piper killed her. For me, because I hated her. I brought her out here, and he dragged her into the lagoon. After Van drew his last breath, he would return again someday, as he had over the years, maybe sooner than normal, now with his nursery rhyme posted online for all to see. Now anyone has a chance to make this deal. You promise me. You tell me what happened to my mother. You promise me. I gave you Marie. And what have you given me? The fluttering came from within inside her chest, and then the music, and the music called from within and out his music. I gave you life, the monster spoke. The life you wanted, of misery and regret, and your martyred life. She did give up Marie because she wanted to know about her mom.
Mm-hmm.
But just like any deal and any trickery that we learn in fairy tales is, I do this. Like they talk about Rumpelstiltskin, right? She keeps, like, you know, giving the hay and getting the money. She will give him everything until she says no. And that is where the antagonistic relationship between the two happened. So she somehow found out about the Pied Piper. Yeah. Oh, wait. I want to know what's going on with my mom. Where's my mom? And he's like, cool, give me your sister. And she's like, here she is.
I don't like her anyway. Take her.
I want to know what happened to my mom. Well, I'm going to tell everyone you killed your sister unless you give me another life. Take my stepmom. She's right there.
I don't like her either.
That is what's happening. It's like she kept, like, wheeling and dealing. I'm surprised Bobby and Ruth made it out of the story alive. Because normally situations like this, I'm like, oh, especially the way, and he's like, I'm still here waiting for you. Like, oh, dude, you're going to die here.
Which is why, like, where the book ends, I'm just like, oh no, she can't have a normal life, like, ever. Because Bobby would be in danger, Ruth would be in danger. Like, she's bad news. Yeah, she either needs to die or she needs to be in prison. Like, one of the two.
The other thing I like about Cynthia's writing, you can really tell where her tight editing is because when she gives you your little history lesson about Chicago, she gives you a reason why she's talking about it. And she brought it up multiple times, like the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. You know, the only time you only hear about the Leopold murder or the Bobby Knight murder, she only brings it up once. She told the audience that's why they got caught. They didn't do the job correctly because Mo and Finn messed up and they just started to walk around Chicago is how they got caught because he was leaving a bloody trail. I enjoyed the book.
Right.
Shoemaker's Magician is the name of the next one. Yeah. That one takes a different element where they aren't police. They're actually it's through horror movie.
Wait, so is Lauren a character in the second one?
I'm not gonna say anything. I got her I bought her book signed in Chicago. And then when I met her, I was like, can you put the two perla, on top? That book I haven't finished because that's around the time that I started doing Morbidly Curious. So I haven't finished it all the way, but I do want to. You really see her love for Chicago in all her books because of the way she kind of gives you this history lesson. I love that she draws this like neighborhood. And then if you are a Latino, Latinx, or Chicana like myself, you, regardless of what your heritage is, you know what she's talking about. Like playing the salsa music and everyone dancing around the kitchen with the tias and stuff like that. So that's what I loved about this book is it showed Lauren's happiness, which was before her mother disappeared. But then it really took you to how everyone's life fell apart after Marie died and then the stepmother died.
And then there was just never joy in that house again. It was just like sadness, haunted.
Lauren was death. Yeah. Lauren represented death.
Lauren brought that.
And a lot of the reviews, if you go and read the Goodreads reviews, a lot of the people say, I didn't like Lauren. And you're not supposed to.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to reading The Shoemaker's Magician. I was actually gonna listen to that one. I was gonna do it as an audiobook.
All her books are great as an audiobook too.
Because
I listened to this one like the first part, like maybe the first third and the last
Who's that?
Coda.
Oh.
My dog.
Hi,
The dog.
perrito.
Robert must have left because that's the only reason Coda ever comes around me. I'm the second human option.
The alternate human.
I read the book like the first third with my
Mhm.
eyeballs, and then the last third with my eyeballs, and like the middle was audiobook. And yeah, the audio narrator does a pretty good job.
she's
Yeah.
I don't know who it is. I didn't look it up, but she did a good job.
She said her name at the end, but I did the
Yeah, I was
audiobook
gonna
the
do-
entire time as the second read. And then during, when she would talk, I would pull out my book and then start highlighting it.
I was reading about how this book, and I don't know because this was like 3 years ago. No, 4 years ago now because it was 2022. So, I mean, Time might have opted out on this, but I thought that this book had been optioned by somebody like for like a TV series because it is like the procedural aspect of it. It is, you could totally see it, and you could totally see a world in which you could do it and do a really like David Fincher-esque type series, make it go dark. It would be cool. Like, this is a series I would watch. Bella, what would you recommend people pick up next? Obviously, Shoemaker's Magician, but aside from that,
Buffalo Hunter
what
Hunter
would
by
you-
Stephen Graham Jones and The Possession of
Possession.
Alba Diaz. So 2 possession books.
All right. Okay. Well, like, is there anything else? Next meeting of MC,
Oh,
BC?
Morbidly Curious West Seattle chapter.
meeting?
We are meeting on the final. We're actually going to be hosted by our new venue sponsor, The Revelry Room. We will be there January 29th at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:30. It is a 21 and over.
Nice.
This is the first meeting where I'll be Mike. So God bless everybody for their ears. But it's because
Nice.
I've gotten so many members that I
Awesome.
can't use my voice anymore. On the
Good.
24th at 10 a.m. at Seattle Public Library, I will be hosting the Seattle Horror Book Club in association with the HWA Seattle chapter. We will be discussing Hacienda by Isabel Canas. This is,
Nice. Is it
Yeah,
Isabel Cañas?
But I have a new account dedicated all to horror and noir called the Noir Pearl. So I'm just kind of splitting my
Ooh.
two worlds.
So we will have that all linked for you guys in our show notes so that you can go and follow her and support. If you're in the Seattle area, you should be part of these clubs because Bella has all the hookups on what you should be reading. For those of you wondering what our next pick is, we will be making that announcement over like in the days and weeks to come. We'll announce our next pick on the show as well as on our socials. We'll link that for you guys in show notes. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Don't Watch at Night is a Nest production. Executive producers are Veronica and me. Editing by me. Music by Omar Chakor. Special thanks to Lorenzo Villarreal and Alex Street for production support for this episode. Listen to new episodes every other Monday, and if you like our show, give us a rate and review. It is the best way to help us grow.